And we are happy to have you here. I'm Angie Wyatt. Start of a new season. Super excited about it. To kick off the new season, we thought it would be a good idea to do some team building. So that's what we did. We had a little retreat, a little escape to Lake of Egypt, that area in southern Illinois that so many people flocked to. It was absolutely stunning, very cold outside. So we had to stay inside. And I hope you are enjoying all these pictures that we're showing you. Obviously, to team build, what did we do, guys? We did some games.
Twister.
Blindfolded Twister. I mean, here's the thing with this group. We will do anything to win. And if that means taking out your competition, that's just what you do, right? We had some food, and we actually had some remarkable charcuterie, which was made for us by the group that you will see on the show today. And then, I mean, what would a company outing be without painting? We even had the music. I mean, we had it set. It was a mood. It was a vibe. And then our own Jacob had an idea. What was it, Jacob?
What if we just did what we wanted?
What if we just do freestyle? What if, kind of like at work, what if we just do what we want to do? So that's what we did. So listen, we've had a competition. I've been holding on to these things for like a week. But Steve, one of our guests today, he's going to come out now and help me out. Now, Steve knows a thing of beauty. He knows Southern Illinois landscape. Hello, Steve. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Thank you for coming on ahead of your segment.
You're welcome.
To be our judge. Okay?
Glad to do it.
Steve's going to be deciding which is best. And then when the winner is announced in just a little bit, there will be no prize awarded. But it will be that bragging right of the best painting from the team building meeting. Okay. First work of art. There you go, Steve. What do you think? You like? Okay.
That's pretty good.
I don't know if it's upside down or... So the artist could speak up if I'm not representing the work well. This is more of an abstract.
That was fine.
Okay. Hey! Okay. Now this one's a little dizzying, right? Okay. You know? See? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And then you can see where all of our minds are. It's, you know, either chaotic or very calm and not a lot going on. All right. This looks reminiscent of our Growing Media logo, which is the production company that produces the Spiel. I absolutely love this one, Steve. I mean, that was a really good one. All right. Now, I can tell you this one in particular, he actually used a photograph he had taken and then transformed it into art, okay? And then this is like my all-time favorite. I mean, this took one of us like 5 minutes to do. And I think our time limit, what was our time limit on the whole painting deal?
Wasn't it like 30 to 45 minutes?
It's like 30, 45 minutes. And this guy knocked it out in 5 minutes, you know? Mm-hmm. All right, Steve, you kind of know what you're thinking there, which one you're going to go with?
I kind of like this one the best.
Yes! Steve, that's me!
Is it? Nice. You did well.
Now I wish we had a prize. I mean, that would be great. It has been a pleasure having you as a judge on our show.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Rob, I won.
I heard.
Super excited about that. Thanks, Steve, and we'll
You're
see you a
welcome.
little bit later in the show. Okay, so when you have a TV show, when you have some outlet where you have an audience, people will send you things because they're trying to sell these things. And if you happen to mention them or wear them, there is a chance that other people may buy the product. So we were contacted by Sparkle, which is a small business. She does handcrafted accessories, and she says, as much as we have loved making them for you, we hope that you find it in your heart to share the story and to encourage individuals to check us out. Look, it's what's on the inside that counts. Really cool bands. I guess these go on your smartwatch, right? And you know how I know that? Because there were 3 boxes. And I'm going to go ahead and admit that I took my prize for winning the painting competition, even before I knew I won the painting competition. If you have not, check it out, sparklebands.com. Look at that for all of you small business owners. If you send us stuff, we'll talk about you on the show. All right, listen, we have so much on this show that I had to write it down so I do not forget. We are going to recap the Hollywood visit of our SPIELOn entertainment reporter, Tim Estiloz. I mean, he was hobnobbing with Kirsten Dunst, Jesse Plemons. Those are the stars of that Western drama, The Power of the Dog. It's getting so many rave reviews. Also, Will Smith, known these days as King Richard. We'll have kind of a surprise, impromptu news conference, if you call it that, with him. So that's coming up a little bit later. And also we are going to visit a dear friend of ours. She's already been on the show, and she is going to come in and speak to us about continuing her wellness journey. We'll also climb some of the most impressive trails and maybe even some peaks here in Southern Illinois. If you have not seen this landscape, you've got to check it out. Beautiful Southern Illinois, the Shawnee Forest. So it's going to be something to behold. We'll also dive into the art of charcuterie, and we'll find out a lot more about that. And as usual, we will be entertained by some remarkable music. How'd we do, guys? That's a lot.
That was good for a first day back.
Whew, that was good for a first day back. I'm worn out. All right, we want to bring her out, right? Yeah. We're gonna try something new. We're gonna bring out our guest, Ellen, if she's ready. Do you remember her from? We had you on the show before.
Yes.
You did the art of charcuterie. She was quite an artist, and she's been doing some really cool things like going. Antiquing and shopping at estate sales and just taking care of yourself. I follow you. Can you tell I stalk you online?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's great seeing you again. And when we come back, we'll dive into some, wellness. How about
Yes,
that?
wonderful.
All right. We'll be right back.
Coming up next, Ellen Ross is back on the show with us. She's going to be talking about what you can do to help your mental health or anybody around you that is having mental health struggles.
It can be so scary saying out loud, I have a problem.
Later on the show, Poppy and Vine Co. bringing the most beautiful charcuterie to Southern Illinois. Two women following their passions to bring joyful charcuterie to you.
My name is Greta Smith, and I'm a nurse practitioner for Shawneetown Healthcare Center. And I love it all, and that's one of the reasons that I chose family practice, is because I like that every day's a challenge. There's something you walk into, whether it's, a well baby check to, an 85-year-old patient in here getting their med refills in their labs. I mean, I enjoy the whole spectrum. It's like an extension of your own family.
Now, you may or may not recognize this lady. If she was standing, you would most certainly recognize her. Ellen Ross. We've continued to talk about the last time you were here on the show. You stand about how tall?
5'11".
No,
Almost
with your
6 foot.
okay, with the 6 foot, right?
Yeah, I might be about 6'1" today.
And your hubby is
He's 6'5".
He's only
Yeah.
6'5".
Yeah.
So I do remember feeling very, very short when you guys were on last time. But welcome, thank you for coming back.
Of course, I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, we like to keep up with guests, and I've seen you. You're very public with things usually
Yeah.
when you're doing things, and very helpful information. If you don't, you should follow her. You've always been very forthcoming about needing to be aware of your well-being.
Yes.
Mentally.
Yes.
Physically. Spiritually.
Yes.
Something that we all need, but as a result of this crazy pandemic that the world has gone through, and people retreating and going into their homes and such, you found that you were met with another monster or a beast or something you had to overcome. Talk a little bit about what you've been going through.
Sure. Yeah. I spoke on this just a little bit last time I was here. Just mental health in general, and kind of my healing journey, and how yeah, I've dealt with depression, anxiety for many, many years.
And so surprising, because when people look at you, you're so put together, you're beautiful, you've had wonderful experiences. I mean, you were a stylist to the stars. And that's what is just so surprising to a lot of people.
Yeah.
You may look so together and inside you're like, I'm dying inside,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. You know, those things just don't discriminate. You know, anyone could be struggling and you wouldn't know it.
Right,
So
right. You
be
wouldn't
kind to everyone.
Be kind.
Yeah.
She always says that. And, you know, you wouldn't know it until you just flat out put it out there on Facebook that you're back, you're feeling better, you've taken care of yourself. We were talking before we came on, and it's really in society taken on really cool names like what did you call it? The Mom Wine Society?
Yes,
or
Mommy Wine Club.
Mommy Wine Clubs.
Yeah, you know, you see the T-shirts and the mugs and all that.
Yeah. And, you know, what may be lurking behind that are women who are really crying out for help.
Yes.
You know?
And that's exactly what happened to me.
Okay.
No one was aware. No one knew. It was never outwardly visible that I had a problem.
Right.
But I have been struggling with alcohol abuse for the past year or two. And that's not how the Lord wanted me to be living.
Yeah.
He didn't want me surviving or
Right.
numbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's so eye-opening, if for a moment you will just step back and take a look, you also have 2 young ones, and you had dedicated yourself to go home and to be a more attentive mom, and day in and day out, them looking at you, even though you felt like you had this secret and you were still present, you knew, and it was eating away at
Yes.
you. Yeah.
Yes, it really was. But I have been sober for 87 days.
Bravo.
Very proud, very
She
proud.
says she'll never go. I ask, you know, do you think you'll go back to the occasional glass? And you're like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah.
You want to remain alert, aware,
Yes.
wide awake.
I want to be present.
Yeah.
With every moment.
Yeah.
With my kids every day.
Yeah.
And it's been absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. You said that you have to do things like you have to take care of yourself. And there are certain ways you can do that. You know, a lot of times people will jump immediately to, well, let's take care of ourselves. Let's go to the spa. Let's do this.
Right.
But you've found some really neat ways to make yourself feel better.
Yes. And some of those things include going to bed and waking up the same time every day.
Right. Getting sleep.
Having more structure in my day. Also, you know, really meditating on scripture and getting into the word, and doing my deep breathing exercises and using my healthy coping skills and mechanisms that I've learned in treatment and in therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that you knew you needed to do. You wanted to go out and get those tools to put in your toolbox to bring home to be a better you.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, you could see it, you know, just the way you lit up and you spoke about it. And that took courage. And for that, kudos.
Thank you. It can be so scary saying out loud, I have a problem.
Right.
Or especially, you know, because things are so stigmatized, not
Yes.
only mental health, but also addiction.
Sure.
It's so stigmatized. But I am a huge proponent for not having to wait until things are so bad
Right.
or you've hit rock bottom to reach out for help.
Sure.
You don't have to wait that long. My biggest hope and my biggest motivator for sharing what I share, which, you know, there's a lot of people that are like,
No.
I wouldn't do that. But I think it's so powerful to share our stories. Just even for the fact that it could make someone feel less alone. Or
Absolutely.
you could, it's almost like putting yourself out there for anyone that doesn't have anyone to reach out to.
Right.
They can reach out to me, and I'm happy to provide resources. Resources.
Very
yeah.
important. Yeah.
Numbers to call.
Right, right.
Different places to look into for help, things like that.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for coming on.
Yes.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Thank you, Ellen. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
All right, coming up next on the show, we have Donovan Chapman. He has an incredible story about how he almost made it as a singer-songwriter, had to fall back a little bit, and now he's back.
Working as a highway patrolman, seen a bunch of things I don't understand.
Later on the show,
So tell me your names again.
I'm Venus. I'm Serena.
So what'd you think?
And I'm here to see the new Will Smith movie entitled King Richard.
I'm a structural project manager and structural design engineer. So I design buildings and non-building structures. I didn't come from a lot of money, so money was tight, and everything that I had to do, I had to pay for myself. So I could work during the summer, and I could literally pay for my whole semester and everything just in full, you know, compared to if I went to a university, I'd have to take out a loan. So that was a big thing for me. Another thing was the smaller class sizes. That was really appealing to me. Being in a class of 200 versus 20 or 30, you can really ask questions and get a lot of input from the teachers and professors and things like that. So I've made a lot of friends, lifelong friends at John A, still in touch with them, and some of who I actually work with. So definitely a good experience. And then, like I said, all my classes, they taught me a lot, and definitely wouldn't be here today without what I learned from John A.
The Spiel presents You're On, 100% original new music.
Hello everyone, Donovan Chapman here with my good brother Eddie K. And we're going to sing a song called Highway Patrolman. It's my latest single that's out on country radio, breaking the charts right now. And the song is a law enforcement song showing support to all law enforcement in the nation. And it's featuring the Texas Highway Patrol for all the hard work that they're doing in the state of Texas, working some long 12-hour shifts. You ready? Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3. Some say we're tough, some say we're strict, because we wear the badge and we never quit. Trained to protect you while you're on the road. Black and white is always ready to roll. Working as a highway patrolman, seen a bunch of things I don't understand. Working these long 12-hour shifts, trying to meet the deadline on my bills. You can cross the line at a Texas state sign. I'll be waiting on the other side. Working as a highway patrolman, living by the star and the law of the land. Some say we're abusive, some say we're corrupt. No, no, that thin blue line represents her love. For a fallen trooper serving on the job, we serve to protect them by the grace of God. Working as a highway patrolman, seen a bunch of things I don't understand. Working these long 12-hour shifts, trying to meet the deadline on my bills. And you can cross the line at a Texas state sign. I'll be waiting on the other side. Working as a highway patrolman, living by the star and the law of the land. When we're on that open road, for you we'll risk our lives so that you can get back home. It's a feeling we hold deep inside, to always check our pride, 'cause under God we took the oath. Working as a highway patrolman, I've seen a bunch of things I don't understand. working these long 12-hour shifts, trying to meet the deadline on my bills. You can cross the line at a Texas state sign. I'll be waiting on the other side, working as a highway patrolman, living by the star and the law of the land. Working as a highway patrolman, living by the star and the law of the land. Come on. Working as a highway patrolman, living by the star and the law of the land. Highway patrolman.
I'm Cameron Alford. It's a lot of people that come, a lot of students come to the game, so you know, you get to interact with them. Once basketball is done, because I understand that one day it's going to be done for me, I want to still be involved with it in some type of way, taking that next step, being ready for the next step. So next school, that's what keeps me motivated. It's good that your hard work doesn't go unnoticed sometimes. I chose John A. College more so for the basketball, but I got here, the atmosphere and the people I get to meet, that's a good reason why I came.
Already, this guy is one of my heroes. I think Donovan Chapman. Just in the brief time that I've got, to get to know you, and hearing from the lady who represents you, who I love, by the way, Bev is one of my favorites. She said that your story was special, and I guess I just didn't realize how special. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yes. Awesome. I appreciate you having me.
And there's just a warm place in my heart anytime we go south. We're talking about the Southland, Alabama. You were born and raised in
Louisiana.
Okay, Louisiana. That's what I thought. Southern Baptist, born again Christian. And when you come in singing like you've been singing, it just warms the heart.
Yeah.
So good.
It wants to get you swinging.
No doubt. And you speak of accountability, and I love that. Giving 11 years of your life in the military, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you were following in a long legacy. That's something your family had done, and you made that decision and in the Air Force and fighting for our country, but yet you still hold remnants of all that experience. So let's talk a little bit about that and educate people on what that was like for you.
Well, I'll start off with, like you said, from a long legacy. My great-granddaddy was in World War I, lost his leg and had a peg leg, and he came back to northern Louisiana and broke thousands of acres with a mule and a plow. And my grandfather, who was my papaw, and he was a Southern Baptist retired preacher, and he was in World War II. My dad was injured in combat in Vietnam, and I'm the oldest in my family, and I served in the Air Force for right at almost 11 years, and I was a security policeman for 4 years, and then I went to the special operations as a pararescueman, special operations combat search and rescue operator. And I was in Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Kuwait, been through many countries, and I'm glad to be here.
You were injured, and you've had to pretty much, put your body back together again, and then learn to do what you wanted to do in the way of sharing your message through song. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, when I got out of the military, I had a record deal waiting on me at Curb Records.
Wow.
And Mike Curb was like, if you get out of this last tour alive, which was my roughest tour, I was like, you jinxed me.
Wow.
I got back and signed a 7-album record deal with Mike Curb with Curb Records. We had some hits, and I went to a record label, Category 5. But I was falling apart on the road. I was out doing radio tours. I mean, we're just jamming away. We're hitting 250 dates a year away from home, and I was falling apart. I couldn't hardly play guitar, anymore. That hand, it's atrophied and deformed out, which is actually from a bad injury with my nerves and muscles in my elbow. And I had some really bad messed up vertebrae and disc in my neck. And I was actually becoming paralyzed. So I left the business, and I also had 6 weeks to start my GI Bill. And I said, man, if I let that run away, and lose that, I'll never forgive myself. So I asked out of my record deal while having a record on the charts at number 42 on Billboard. And I went back to Tallahassee, and I started school, and I graduated from Flagler College with a bachelor's in business. And while I was going to college, I went through multiple surgeries, and I went through the multiple darkness of the medications, and having time to think about the darkness of the past, and not being able to do anything that I could do. I fell apart, and I had to go went through rehabilitation. So that was my surrender that I sing about in my album, Brotherhood, is that surrender that I'm so proud of, because we all are going to be tested in life. And if anyone thinks they can outrun it, I'm just going to sit back and watch and say, I'll be there when you need me to help you. Because we all will. And I look at every day with the 3 S's. We're going to accept that you're going to struggle, accept to surrender, and accept that you will succeed every day of my life.
I love that.
The demons will come back.
Yeah.
The trial, we're in a tough world. It's a tough life for everyone. And everyone's pain is real. And that's why I open my heart and my management, my record label, we are open arms and working with nonprofits such as Freedom Sings, where I write with veterans across the country, that to give them the help, and through my darkness, that I'm not ashamed of talking about.
You're shining light on it.
Yeah.
You're shining light on it. I love that, because you're helping other people when you do that. And what I love about you and what you've done, and you know, chalk it up to your business background or whatever, you're giving back. Like anything that you do and the momentum and what you might make on, you know, this record or whatever, you want to give a portion of those proceeds. And that is remarkable, and that is longevity. That is staying power when it's not just about you. It's about the other people, and you get that.
Absolutely. Such as you were just saying, Highway Patrolman, the new single on country radio, half the proceeds of publishing are going to a Texas Highway Patrol officer who is in hardships with financials, raising his cerebral palsy son. They can't afford a vehicle to get him in, you know, to put him into the vehicle with the ramps and the wheelchair and the lockdowns. And so I met him, and I was done with the album, and I wrote the song right there in about an hour and a half in South Texas. Came back to Nashville, we cut it, and I prayed about it and said, okay, Lord, this is the first single. And so we're generating income for Johnny, my buddy, and we're working through a nonprofit called ThatOthersMayRise.org, where we have an account for Child of the Blue set up so that people can help donate, and that money will be sent to help this Texas Highway Patrolman.
No doubt. May God continue to have you and them. And I tell you what, you are actually working with some pretty remarkable talent, and I know you want to give them some kudos as well. And so he wanted to give you the whole stage, so go ahead and give him an intro then.
Well, absolutely. So that's Eddie K. That's on piano with me, and a little quick story about that. Eddie Montgomery from Montgomery Gentry is a great brother. And I was having a tough time when we pulled out of Afghanistan, and a lot of us that served there were really having a tough time. And Eddie Montgomery and his band reached out and said, come on the road with me, brother. Just come be with your family. And so I went out on the road for a weekend with Eddie Montgomery, and Eddie K is the tour manager, band leader. And those guys took me in, and as I was sitting there just having a tough time, they made me feel, they didn't bother me. They just let me feel comfortable. Like, he'll catch on with us.
That's right.
And I became part of the family. And it's awesome band. And so I give love to Eddie Montgomery and Eddie K and everybody in his band who's helped me. I feel like I'm back on a pararescue team again. Except we're in music.
Hey, softer landings though. I mean, you were doing like a number there, no doubt. It's so much more fun when we band together and do it together and celebrate together. So you are to be celebrated. We want people to find you. What's the best way to get your material out there?
My website, DonovanChapman.com, and we're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Music, YouTube Music, Amazon, iTunes, any digital distribution. Yes, ma'am, we're out there. And follow us on our new video on Highway Patrolman on YouTube. We want to get those counts up so them Highway Patrolmans down there are getting fired up. That their story is being told, man.
That's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Continued blessings. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Angie. You are awesome.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
When we come back,
it struck me that this was a little girl who knew she had a lion that would tear anybody apart who messed with her.
Later on the show, Steve Melville's coming up. You're not going to want to miss this because he has hiked all over Southern Illinois, has some of the most beautiful photos that you will ever see. They're going to blow your mind. Stay tuned.
I think there's a lot of things that veterans enjoy in their normal daily life, but they lose a lot of that when they're going through that PTSD.
But the whole health aspect gives us options. It gives us options like maybe I don't have to take a pill for this. Maybe I can work on myself with meditation and with yoga.
Giving your mind something to distract and interrupt those thoughts, I think, is important, and that's what the whole health team helps you do.
So it's really about giving control and power back to somebody when they're already feeling powerless.
My name is Jacob Reichert. I plan to major in biology, and eventually I am looking forward to being a park ranger or research biologist. I received a Faye scholarship, and that basically covers my tuition and fees. And that's really important to me because coming from a middle-class family, we can't always afford all the things that you need for college. And so that really helps out my family. Community college, I know there's a stigma around it, but there's still a great community. You still have great opportunities with people. You still learn the same things you probably would at a university. You will be helped no matter what your problem is.
And I'm here on the Warner Brothers studio lot right here in Hollywood, California, Burbank to be exact, to see a preview of the new Will Smith movie entitled King Richard.
The chances of achieving the kind of success that you're talking about is just very, very unlikely.
Okay, you're making a mistake, but I'm gonna let you make it. Watch him hit a few balls. All right. So tell me your names again.
I'm Venus. I'm Serena.
So what'd you think?
The press kind of painted Richard Williams as this kind of overbearing dad, this very, kind of out there character. But this is a chance to reclaim that and tell the true story. So what was it about this script, this project, when you first read it, that made you want to take this on?
Probably about 20 years ago, there was a famous interview, and most of you have probably seen it. We depicted it in the film. The one where the reporter keeps asking Venus how she's so confident, and then Richard comes in and stops the interview. So I had seen that, years ago. And the thing that struck me about that was Venus is, she's sitting there, she's so calm, and she's so certain, and it struck me that this was a little girl who knew she had a lion that would tear anybody apart who messed with her.
It's a little wet for practice, don't you think? Don't the girls have schoolwork to do?
They do their homework. Tundi's first in her class. Lynn and Isha are too.
Now, I don't even mind you saying we hard on these kids. You know why? Because we are. That's our job, to keep them off these streets. I was very excited, when this script came up, to be able to dive into a deeper comprehension of Richard and Orsine and this family, because I knew there was something special going on that was very different than what it looked like.
Venus and Serena gonna shake up this world. Venus Williams, who is your best friend?
You, Daddy.
Serena Williams, who is your best friend?
Venus. Then you.
That's
then you. After Venus.
When disaster strikes, it's nice to know you have someplace you can go while rebuilding your home. Contact Larry's Trailer Sales today. Not only do we have units available for those needing a place to call their own, we also have items many people may be in need of, including freshwater hoses, power products, and all your camping essentials. Find Larry's online at larrystrailersales.com, home of the RV warranty forever, serving you since 1966.
Hi everybody, I'm Tim Estiloz with the Spiel on Entertainment, and I'm giving you a little behind-the-scenes look at the press conference that we're having here, courtesy of Netflix, for the new film, The Power of the Dog.
25 years since our first run together. 1900 and nothing. I wonder what little lady made these.
I did, sir.
Now we're here at the beautiful Four Seasons Hotel, the world famous Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills, California. And right over here, you can see in the background, we've had a number of members of the media from across the country who are here to talk with some of the stars of this film, Benedict Cumberbatch and Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons and many more that are part of this fascinating film that's a Western set in the early 1900s.
Okay, let him out. You sure he's not ready? Go on, let him out.
He's just a man, Peter. Only another man.
Right here is where the media will set up with this backdrop to shoot their stand-up, shoot their on-camera presentations, and also just, hey, shoot a few selfies for their social media. So again, this movie, The Power of the Dog, is really a lot of very, very interesting character studies. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm predicting that you'll be hearing about this film come award season. I'm Tim Estiloz with the Spiel on Entertainment.
We need you to subscribe to YouTube so we have as many viewers there as we do on Fox. I think we're at like 1 million plus.
In the military, we're always taught to push forward, to push through the pain. You're always taught to focus on the goal.
They feel that they have renewed hope. Their stress and anxiety are decreased. A lot of them have made comments that they are even sleeping better.
It taught me to make time for myself. You may see challenges in your life, but you have that stability and knowing who you are and where it is that you are in relation to what it is that's going on around you.
Okay, these are the latest victims of my stalking online, right here. Jeanie and Taylor of Poppy and Vine Company. Or are you going to call it Co? Is it just Co?
I say company.
Is it,
Yeah,
is it
whatever,
okay.
whatever.
They're still
Yeah.
deciding. But we're thrilled to have you ladies in our kitchen today, and it's
Thank
brought to our
you.
viewers by Prairie Farms, so that's always a lot of fun. And if there's any way to incorporate anything dairy in here, we will do it, I promise. You know, it started this way where you're just mindlessly scrolling through social media, and I started to see your artistry, and that's what I like to call it. So
Yeah, it is.
job well done that you got my attention.
Thank you. That's a huge compliment to us.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, you know, I started with what I thought was very original about what you're doing. And actually, we ordered in one weekend something for a client, CRHPC. And of course, we did a company retreat, Growing Media. And you graciously in one day took the order and got it done for us. So we appreciate that. But Poppy and Vine, there's a story there. So you guys tell us where the name came from.
There is, yes. So Poppy, we got the name from her father. Ever since we were 15, it's been our dream to be in event planning, wedding planning, coordinating, the whole 9 yards, and he's been our biggest cheerleader and investor and supporter. So we wanted to name this after him since he's so influential and involved. Yeah,
That's
he
awesome.
stays up late, makes the boards.
He is
he's
yes,
the whole 9 yards.
He is the
He's
guy
so
behind
great.
the scenes that does everything we need.
Carries
so,
everything.
with a smile on
Yes.
his face.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much do anything because I'm seeing a real assortment here.
Yeah.
How do
you can make a charcuterie board anything you want.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be
fruits,
anything specific. It could be
sweets.
just sweets, just
Okay.
salty, just meats, cheeses, and crackers.
And every order can be custom.
Yeah.
Yes,
for
okay.
Just to anyone's needs, essentially. you know?
Awesome. Well, here's the thing that I ran into is no one wanted to touch it because it was so pretty.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, we have a lot of food to eat,
Yes,
so jump
for
in.
sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, the other thing that we talked about briefly was before we started the segment, we understand the season that we're in, and sometimes people get a little bit nervous. You know, obviously we'll always tell you to use hand sanitizer, you know, whatever. But if you don't feel comfortable doing a community board, you have the individual options.
Yeah, the
Right.
individual option is perfect for events, big events, weddings, for appetizers.
Yes.
Right. People can run up, grab it, share
Still
it with someone.
cute.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it feeds, I mean, it would feed probably 2 to 3 people even.
We're going to jump over here, Jeanie, and you're going to talk to me about, look, this is another thing that caught my eye. And you were so smart as to leave little
Yes.
sections open so you could show me.
So-
What is this called?
So this is pavlova. It is an Australian dish. Taylor's father is actually from Australia. So this is his work of art. He always makes them for people, and they're a huge crowd favorite. It's super simple and easy to make. It's kind of like a meringue. There's a nice crunch. It's very light and airy. You can top it with any fruit, chocolates, drizzle, powdered sugar.
Yes.
In Australia, they like to do tropical fruit on theirs.
Okay.
And it's like their birthday cake.
So it's more, does it become like a bread, or it's very light and airy, right?
It is. It's almost like a meringue. Yeah, try it. Take a bite for the crowd.
Honey.
It's soft, a little flaky.
That is delicious. We have to go to break so I can go ahead and finish that, because that's amazing. You know, and I love, here's the other thing. As an entrepreneur, and you're figuring this out and you're starting your business, when you do a Spiel in the kitchen, you know, we tell people to bring your products and what you're doing.
Sure.
But it's the little things. It's the small touches that you do in packaging and such. Tell me how you've thought about that and how you want to make everything that you do special and customizable.
Right, yeah, I think the biggest thing between the both of us is we love detail. It's never missed. So we love making things pretty and aesthetically pleasing. So that's the fun part of our job. I think that's why we like this and want to go into events. It's our dream. We want to pursue this passion of ours. It's a hometown service, which we love. We love supporting other hometown businesses.
And I think, too, locally, as far as the rental aspect of it goes, that's something that I feel like we would be bringing in that not a lot of people locally offer.
Right. Especially with doing both of our weddings, there were several things that we wish we had that we couldn't find locally, so we're ready to add that spark.
It's like you had to go to Nashville, you had to go to St. Louis to get the chairs you wanted, or a wagon cart just to hold something that you wanted to be beautiful, even though maybe something so small.
Details,
We want to deliver whatever that person, that individual wants.
And execute.
And that's not something that's given locally. It's just not.
It's
hard.
Yeah. And there's awesome people locally that do decorating and event planning, but it's just more so the rentals, that aspect of it is missing from Southern Illinois.
And we do have a different aesthetic to a lot of it. So we're ready to bring our side of it.
Yeah, I'm actually, it's so interesting that you say that, because I'm very much a detail-oriented gal.
Sure, yeah.
And I loved, part of the process, or for us, was it was pretty involved, and we had a lot of little dishes and little serving items, and we want to get those back to the ladies so they can use it again. But you know what? I looked at every piece. And I thought, okay, somebody spent time picking this out. This says something. This means something. It's a beautiful little, you know, like the little stands and the bowls and the little serving things that you don't normally see or use.
Totally.
It's a treat, and that's what something like this should be.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So obviously, people are going to want to know how to get a hold of you. What is the best way to do that?
Yes, so we have Instagram and Facebook, and we also have a website.
So you can see all of our packages, all of the pictures of the products that we have available, and rentals. So yeah, check us out.
Yeah.
It's official.
They're growing. It's official.
It's
There's
official.
A
We're getting things done. We have a business together.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. This is so fun.
I can't wait to see where you ladies go.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, guys, you're ready to jump in? Look at them. They're all out there like
what does this
piranhas,
mean?
just waiting to eat. Oh, they'll devour it.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are they going to do?
Yeah, hold them back. All right, we'll be right back.
Stay.
Regenerative procedures come into use if we lose a tooth. And I've had a lot of people come to me and say, well, I had a tooth pulled. And I'll say, okay, has there been any discussion about what comes after that? Because removing the tooth should never be the end all of a discussion when it comes to having to remove a tooth.
And we're super excited by our next guest, Steve Melville. Welcome.
Thank you.
He is here because he's like a nature enthusiast or an outdoors guy. And anytime we can take a trip, you know, in light of being holed up in our homes for so long and being able to get out to the great outdoors and the Shawnee Forest and all of those places, it's an adventure. And we were speaking with Carol from the Southernmost Illinois Tourism Bureau, and she said that you would be a remarkable guy to take us on a journey and show us some imagery that you've collected in the area. So what were some of the most, awestruck moments that you've had since moving. You came from St. Louis, you said.
Yes.
About how many years ago?
10.
About 10 years ago. Guess what? He hasn't left, and I don't think you have any plans to leave, right? No. Okay, because you've got that little, I say little because it's pretty vast, Rimrocks Dogwood Cabins.
Mm-hmm.
That's in Elizabethtown, right?
Yeah, a little north of there, yeah.
Okay, and that's that area that once you venture up into it, you just want to get lost and stay there and enjoy.
Yeah.
So we will be coming to see you. Yeah, no doubt. I am a little concerned though, before we get into those areas of interest, your cabins are named things like Deer Run, Cougar Bluff, Bear's Den. Mm-hmm. Is that to say that most of those things visit that area?
No, it's just a theme.
Okay, great. Well, tell us what you've captured. Did you realize you were such a photographer and an enthusiast, or is just beautiful stuff to capture?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed the outdoors and hiking and taking photos and stuff. So
you sent us just a few, didn't you? How many pictures did
40 or 50.
40 or 50 pictures, okay. All right, well, kind of take us on a tour and maybe show us some things that we need to go discover on our own.
Yeah, well, Garden of the Gods is obviously the main attraction of the area. I mean, it draws the people in, but there's so much more, even just in the short area there, that you could spend days and days hiking, waterfalls,
very
creeks,
nice.
Lakes.
And they're all named.
Yeah.
So what are some of those more popular points?
Well, Garden of the Gods, Rimrock, High Knob, Jackson Falls.
It goes on and on. I think there's something like 280,000 acres to explore in the Shawnee. So that's pretty vast.
Plus
isn't
state
it?
parks.
Plus the state parks. Well, the other thing I would like to offer kudos in regards to your willingness to keep those areas clean, because for whatever reason, individuals think they can come in and leave their trash and spray paint and awesome work you guys are doing. I've seen the bags and bags of trash that you guys have pulled out of there, and it's because you want to keep your backyard beautiful, right?
Right. It's like a civic duty kind of thing.
Yeah.
Pick up the trash, clean up the graffiti, that kind of stuff.
You said that's the most difficult when you come upon that.
Yeah, the graffiti is, it takes a lot of time, a lot of, scrubbing, and you got to haul water and sprayers in to, clean it all off. So.
Too much. Yeah. If you feel like you're an artist, maybe you could contact Steve and submit what you would like to paint on the side of whatever, and then you guys would take it under advisement.
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned coming into the area and seeing a for sale sign at the Rimrocks Dogwood Cabins. Mm-hmm. Pulled in there and inquired, and how did that happen?
We just picked up a brochure, and my wife decided to call and inquire, and about a year later, we moved on.
That's awesome. Yeah. You were a PI in your former life. Mm-hmm. That's how you knew to pick my painting as the winner. You're like, which one is Angie's, right? Because we're gonna. I'm kidding. By the way,
I did not know.
That was awesome. Okay, so yeah, your pictures are gorgeous. Obviously, you want people to come and explore and see what you've seen, and really, until you come to this area, you just don't realize how breathtaking it is.
I lived in St. Louis for 40 years before I knew this was down here.
That is crazy, because that's only like, an hour and a half, 2 hours away? Yeah. And you said that you've heard from a lot of people who were, holed up in their homes, and you've had cruises canceled and those flights overseas, and they decided to come and visit the area. And what's the type of feedback that you're getting?
Oh, they're just amazed. Same as me. They had no idea that it was there, and they come back and just
that's awesome.
Discover new things.
And stay with you. They should stay at your cabins, right? Okay, obviously.
There's lots of good places.
Obviously.
Through the spring, we have a lot of waterfalls that are going.
Yes.
Jackson Falls and
beautiful.
Burden Falls. There's one at Bell Smith.
Yeah,
it's just amazing.
That's what people don't realize is they do not flow year round.
Right.
So talk about how that works.
Well, we just don't have big watersheds. The terrain, there's smaller watersheds, so it'll dry up come summertime.
Yes. I think the thing to be taken away is you will not be disappointed. And if they want to reach out even to you and find out more, I know you sit on a number of boards, and you're happy to maybe be a guide or tell people where they should go.
Sure, yeah. There's lots of information out there on southernmostillinois.com. If you want to volunteer, ShawneeFriends.com.
Very good. Okay, and we'll find you online, your cabins.
Yep.
You can find those where?
RimrocksDogwoodCabins.com.
That's it. Okay, well, thanks so much, Steve.
You're welcome.
You were awesome.
Thanks.
We'll be right back.
I'm Mallory Henson. I'm part of the dental assisting program. I'm actually the president of the program. So I have always been a hands-on learner, and so we have lab 2 days a week. You learn in lecture, then you come in here, and then whatever you learned in lecture, you come and do it hands-on. Coming right out of high school to a junior college, it was just what I wanted to do, and it fit best for me. Coming here every day and being around great people, great teachers, and great classmates, it really just encourages you to come to school every day.
And that, my friend, is a jam-packed hour of advice, stories, recipes. We've learned that, you know, charcuterie is an art, and when they make it in individual cups, you could eat it or you could use it as a centerpiece, right, guys?
Until you eat it.
Centerpiece for your table that has nothing on it, which, did anyone think about that when we were working on set design? Okay, I thought, yeah, exactly. All right, so the other part of our lives, we share this with you guys often. When we're not filming the show, we could be filming any number of things. We could be recording music videos.
Music videos.
Did it already chart at like number one?
Hopefully, I haven't checked the exact numbers.
Okay, yet. Jennifer Lauren, Diamonds and Whiskey.
Walk Hard.
Walk Hard, baby. And then, of course, we have a number of commercial clients.
A lot of them.
A lot of commercial clients, and you as a viewer get to see those each and every. I don't know if you know, but the Spiel is only filled with growing media productions.
That's the only commercials that are in the whole.
No one else can get in.
Yeah, you have to be a growing media client if you want to be featured in the show.
In the show, right?
Premier spots.
Premier spots. I love that. And they're saying that because they cut them and they make the spots and they're premier spots. But we had the pleasure of taking care of a client actually out of state this past week, and it forced us to drive because I think the nearest location for this client is 5.5, 6 hours away.
Yeah, about 5 hours away. Yeah.
So I was in the car. Let me tell you what I quickly discovered. There is a non-stop sharing of either lines from TV shows, characters,
just pop
themes,
culture.
Pop culture, and I mean it didn't stop. It was like one would begin and the other would end. And I said, okay, those guys are like equally yoked. They're like, we need to have a competition.
What?
Huh? So we're going to do it. We're going to put you guys to the test. And look, we don't have a fancy little side set game show thing. So we've decided to utilize the skills of scorekeeper, Prescott Doll, everybody. Hey! Okay, he's not wearing a mic. Don't get carried away. You can't be heard. You're just seen. Okay, sorry. I know it's tough. All right, and we really don't even have a board to keep score. So we're going to use the clapper board. Look behind you, gentlemen. We're turning it around and we're keeping score the old-fashioned way. You got Rob.
That's me.
Weighing in at 150 pounds less than he was how many years ago? A year ago?
2 months ago.
That's right. Brandon, sporting the growing media gear because he's just trying to be the class favorite, I guess, or the teacher's pet. Okay. So you guys feel confident?
No.
You're nervous as a cat now.
My side of the board is going to look the same later as it does right now.
Confidence. So here's the deal. So, we've been in search all morning. People have come up to me with different questions, and they're like, does this? And I'm like, that doesn't seem like what they were talking about. So,
oh my gosh.
You have to ask yourself if you consider yourself a TV show buff. Yes. You got to answer quickly. That's
it depends on the TV show.
Okay. Could you name popular TV show characters, catchphrases, locations, and tropes in your sleep?
No.
Awake, yes.
Totally they could. I'm telling you guys, 11 hours one way, they never stopped.
Are we too humble? Is that the problem?
I guess, yes. Okay, so here we go. Robin and Lily were best friends in the successful sitcom
How I Met Your Mother.
I am a strict yet sassy boss. Me and my husband have a dog named Cheddar. I am...
Ray Holt.
Very good. I am a big shot lawyer who decided to quit her job and move to a different city to pursue her childhood sweetheart. I am the main character of...
Murphy Brown. Was that right?
You want to give it a shot?
I don't know.
Okay, you'll get this one. You ready? You better be ready. Word, comma, word, comma, word. Unraveling the mysteries that all started with the Big Bang. Hey.
Math, science, history?
Woo!
Math, science, history.
We
Gosh,
beat
dang
you
it.
on your show.
What's your favorite show?
angry.
So great, because I heard that a lot. Okay, I heard about the Big Bang Theory a lot. All right, who are the three main girls of the Brady Bunch?
Marsha, Jan, and Tommy.
Those are the only two I know as well.
How about Cindy? What happened,
Cindy.
guys? Okay, I get one for Angie.
She doesn't have a funny catchphrase associated with her
Okay,
name.
All right, finish the title of the TV show, Sabrina.
The Teenage Witch.
Got it. Okay, whose catchphrase? Was Rob doing more of the talking in the car?
Yeah.
All right, whose catchphrase is, baby, you're the greatest?
The Fonz?
Yes.
What? Right here.
Got it.
Good job.
Which one of these is not a business idea Kramer came up with? The executive jacket, a coffee table book about coffee tables, a beach-smelling cologne, and the apartment pants.
The apartment pants. I have no idea.
Very good.
I've never watched Seinfeld.
Okay.
That
How many
sounded like
characters
one.
died in the first season of Game of Thrones?
38.
Very good.
Was that
No.
40.
No. It's either 28, 22, 37, or 19.
37.
In a row?
Vicodin. What TV show does this word make you think about? Grey's Anatomy, House MD, Scrubs,
Oh, House.
Saving Hope.
House MD.
House. Okay. Where is Breaking Bad set?
New Mexico.
Which part? Las Cruces, Rio Rancho, Los Lunas, or Albuquerque?
Albuquerque.
Oh, was that a
That was
draw?
kind of a tie.
Okay. Which network picked up Brooklyn Nine-Nine after Fox canceled it?
NBC.
Okay. Olivia and Fitz are the main couple in what hit TV show? Scandal,
Shield.
The Good Wife, House of Cards, or Gossip Girl?
Oh, I was going to say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Gossip Girl?
Sure. Which one of those wasn't a name for Andy Dwyer's band? Mouse Rat, Scarecrow Boat, Possum Pendulum, Possum in a Straitjacket.
Possum in a Straitjacket.
Thank you, Lucas.
For over a century, I have lived in secret, hiding in the shadows, alone in the world, until now is the beginning scene of what TV show?
Highlander.
True Blood, The Vampire Diaries, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or Shadowhunters?
Buffy.
Okay. Finally, last one. You ready? This could be for all the marbles.
Or not.
Are you
I
ready?
think I'm definitely losing.
Okay. Dexter is referred to as
A serial killer.
America's
Blood splatter
favorite,
analyst.
America's most notorious, or America's handsomest?
I mean, he's America's most notorious serial killer?
Notorious serial killer? I don't know.
Question mark?
All right, here's the deal. We don't know if any of your answers are correct, but who happened to be, okay, that looks about right. Oh, I love that. I love it. And you know what?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I promise you on the next ride, I will record it because it was amazing. It was really amazing.
It's kind of like between editing, we have a lot of we
edit in the same room, so we.
The guys have that part of their brain where you can keep those movie lines and characters and films and shows. And do you want to close out the show with anything in particular?
I'm the winner.
He is the winner.
Rob wins.
Rob
I'm gonna put a
wins.
graphic right here.
It's perfect. Rob wins. Okay, guys. Until next time.
Places I've been, most won't understand how a leader could lead men right to their grave. The enemy all around, we no longer hear the sounds of our weapons firing right in front of our face. Somebody says, follow, follow. The leader says, follow, follow me. Don't be afraid to understand how I could leave my past in a place where justice escaped. Then she came along and gently opened up her heart and she showed me true love's fate. I heard her say, follow, follow me. Don't be afraid. My baby said, follow, follow me. Don't be afraid. One day I'll be dead, skin and bones in my bed, in a place where my soul laid. As I'll be flying high, somewhere between space and time, and I'll be singing his praise. And Jesus said, follow, follow me. Don't be afraid. The Father says, follow, follow me. Don't be afraid. We're gonna take this back to the South, Southern Baptist, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia dogs. So come on and follow, yeah, follow me. Don't be afraid. One more time, yeah, follow, follow me. Don't be afraid. One more time, and hallelujah, sing, follow, follow me. Don't be afraid. So come on and follow, follow me. Don't be afraid.
The Grammy's called You Lost.
I'm very butthurt about it.
I think it's so powerful to share our stories, just even for the fact that it could make someone feel less alone.
Now I wish we had a prize. Hi, Angie, nice to see you. Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yes, we're excited.
Let's go for it. Great job, bro.
So, videography and stuff like that, everybody's so helpful. I love that, so I'm excited. I'm lucky.
Where's Scott goes
So much for being here with us
Thank
today.
you.
Yes.
Awesome. I appreciate you having me.
And there's just a warm place in my heart anytime we go south.
I've never had this before.
Let's go.
I was looking for you.
It's gonna be really rich. Wow.